What is up everybody, welcome back to another stock market video, and today I'm going to be talking about NIO stock and what's been happening in the month of December. First of all, happy holidays, but getting back to NIO stock, we saw a price upgrade of $59, and I'm going to cover that bit of news. But as I was going to $59, we saw two pieces of news come out which forced the stock to go all the way down to $38. So when NIO dropped all the way down to $38, I wasn't worried at all because the fundamentals of the company did not change. Now the two pieces of news that brought the company down was the threat of Chinese stocks being delisted from the US stock exchange, and the second one was that NIO decided to have a share offering. As of right now, the share price has already recovered and is hovering around $45, but we're also going to go over some technical analysis and go over the points of why I think this is going to make its way to $59. So right here, looking at our first website, we can see that Goldman Sachs has upgraded NIO to a price target of $59. This was done on the 1st of December, and NIO is currently trading at $45.83. So our first article we have here reads Goldman Sachs raises price targets on Li Auto and NIO. EV maker shares soar pre-market. So these price targets were announced at the beginning of December. Goldman Sachs analyst Fei Fang, and I'll probably butcher his name, raised the bank's price target on Li Auto to $60 from $20.60. maintaining a confident buyer rating. Now, most important one here, the bank also raised its rating on NIO to neutral from sell and raised its price target significantly to $59 from $7.70, which to me is an outrageous raise, which just goes to show that you can't really take them seriously if they had a price target on them at $7.70. So moving over to TipRanks to have a look at this Goldman Sachs analyst rating, and it shows, I may have butchered his name, but he's also butchered his own ratings for this year because his performance for the year has been completely terrible. In a time where people are making 100% gains, this guy is getting minus 18.1. So it's fair to say we shouldn't listen to people like this. Now, unfortunately, for the average investor who just reads those headlines from a credible website, they won't know how bad this analyst is and actually take his advice seriously. This is why it's important to always do your own research. So lucky for NIO investors, we also got another price target of $59. So this analyst here is named Calvin Lau. So analyst Calvin Lau has given a $59 price target because the distinguished premium battery electric vehicle maker in China forecasts NIO to turn a non-GAAP profit in 2023 with sales volume of 140,000 units. So I think Calvin is a little bit more credible because I too believe that they're going to be getting around about 150,000 cars delivered in the future. So I agree with Calvin because what this chart shows is that NIO is still scaling to that number. So we still got Q4 2020, which they will release that in 2021. So moving over to TipRanks, we can see that Calvin is a pretty good analyst. He's got a success rate of 75% and his average return for the year is 60.1%. So this gives me a lot of confidence because NIO still has more to run, and we can see that Calvin is ranked 511 out of 7,000 analysts on TipRanks. So the two pieces of news that force NIO stock price to have a bit of a correction all the way down to $38. The major news that Chinese stocks may be delisted off the US stock exchange. So I'm not really going to get into this, but just to summarize, while this news was valid and it's a good idea to remove some of the dodgier Chinese companies on the US stock exchanges, this is not really any news that should concern NIO because they've got 3 years to conform. And for a company like NIO, who actually gets a lot of money when they do their capital raises and to put money back into the business, they need to be in the US stock exchange to access that foreign investor money. So putting myself in their situation, the last thing I'd want to do is compromise where a lot of my investor money comes from. And if you're unfamiliar with the dangers of investing in Chinese companies, I highly recommend watching this documentary on Netflix called The China Hustle. Because these companies aren't in the US, their financial reporting can be manipulated. But eventually this gets found out and it ends badly for these companies. So it's not even worth it. So in this article, which also had an influence on why NIO had the correction, is that they announced a capital offering of 68 million shares. So while this capital raise was actually a positive thing so that NIO can have more money in the bank to be able to grow in 2021, the problem with it was that the price was given at $39. So the problem with this here is that to the uninformed average investor, by offering their shares at $39 US, it's basically telling them that the shares are worth this much. This is why the stock went down to $38. But anyways, NIO was able to complete this and sell their 60 million shares, therefore giving more money in the bank for the future. So moving over to the technical charts, we can see that early November, NIO was heading to that $59 target. Upon reaching about $58, this is when the bad news came and we saw those two pieces of news bring the stock down. And it's now slowly recovered to about $45. So what the graph is telling us through technical analysis is that, let me just draw a wedge pattern is forming, and let me draw the other one coming through. So as the price is bouncing back and forth, we can see that the sellers and buyers are fighting over it. And hopefully around about NIO day, now we're going to get some sort of breakout. So if we zoom out, we can see that during these wedge patterns, we've normally had a higher price. And this has showed us this is what's happened in the history of NIO. However, I just want to point out that what happens in a breakout doesn't always go up. If some bad news comes out and they don't get record sales, or the sedan is not what everyone wants, or the car doesn't get announced at all, then the breakout could also go down and force the stock price to go below this red line, which is about $38. However, on NIO, if good news does come, this breakout is more likely to go upwards. So what I'm hoping to see is that a wedge is forming all the way up to NIO day, and if the news is well received, we can well see a breakout heading into the $59 mark. So from the technical analysis, we can see a wedge shape forming. As the wedge gets longer and longer, the bigger the breakout, and hopefully it starts to head towards $50 to $60. Now, a couple of good catalysts that are coming up is going to be NIO Day, which is early 2021 and January 9th, where hopefully they're going to release the news of the new car and also a bigger battery. Along with that, we're also going to get the production numbers, which they've managed to beat month on month. So if they produce these numbers again and show everyone that they are scaling up and having exponential growth, this is really going to start to drive the price up. Personally, I think that NIO's current valuation at about mid-40s is pretty rich, but I'm not going to be complaining if the price starts heading upwards from good news. And because I think the price is a little overvalued at the moment, I haven't been adding to my position. I've just been holding the stock. With that said, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about NIO stock and what will happen after NIO Day. Whether the price is going to continue to keep going higher and higher, or will it pull back down around to our current levels that we have at the moment. And now that I'm off work for a couple of weeks, I'm hoping to do a couple more videos. So in the near future, I'm hoping to do a Sharesies and Hatch portfolio update, because I haven't done one of those in a while, and show you the positions that I hold in there. Well, that's enough for me today. May the gains be with you, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.